daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
What an absolute shambles. You join us here on the Daily Manchester United moments after Burmo's crossbar penalty knocks us out of the second round of the EFL Cup. And once again, we find ourselves wondering why we let it get this bad so soon. I, Kieran, am joined by Niall and Tom on this episode, and grab the popcorn. If you're a hate watcher, this is going to be your favourite episode. Tom, you joined the call tonight. You joined in on the green room, basically saying you were censored furious. I'll start with you, Tom. Take the stage.
I'm absolutely cross. Absolutely cross with the performance. I mean, we can't complain about the fact we've gone out on penalties because the vast majority of the match, up until the 75th minute when Brian Mbeumo got us back into it, we were nowhere near good enough. And I think the heavens had saved Grimsby as well for a period of time. So it kind of kept Grimsby in it up until the end of the match and all the way into penalties. And people say, well, we were just unlucky in the shootout. Yeah, we were unlucky. But in the grand scheme of things, as far as the nature of the match is concerned, Grimsby deserved it all night long. And as for United, well, it really, really mounts more on the pressure of Ruben Amorim.
Niall, I'll hand the mic straight to you. Your raw reaction after that one.
I don't think it's hit me yet because I feel like in more of a joking mood than an actual raging, furious mood, and that's probably a nice little contrast to Tom over there. I don't know how you're going to mediate this, Kieran, and give your own opinion, but it's going to be a pretty tough one. But it just had everything, didn't it? Like, of course, Maguire gets us back into the game, like the absolute GOAT himself, nails his penalty, and then the two signings that we signed missed the two penalties. And it's just classic United. We mentioned it a couple of days ago about we're just about 2 weeks into the season, and it's turned into an absolute nightmare once again. And I feel like we're back into last season, just a combined season, this whole thing. So I don't think it's hit me yet. I'm getting dogs abuse from every group chat I'm in, and I expect that to continue for the next couple of days.
Yep, our whole network on the Global Sports Podcast Network is absolutely loving this. And
cooking us.
Cooking us. We're just being absolute mincemeat tonight. Let's start from the start. We were being pressed efficiently by League 2 Grimsby. Now, they are undefeated in League 2 so far this season. They're one of the highest goal scorers in the entire EFL so far this season. They're sort of now in that promotion race at this early stage. But Niall, how on earth were they able to press United so effectively within the first half an hour to go 2-0 up?
When you have a centre midfielder that can't turn on the ball, it does make it a lot easier to press a team. And we've been calling it out for a while with Ugarte, but he just got caught so badly in midfield for that first goal. And then, to be fair to Grimsby, it wasn't any of this long ball stuff. It was proper good football, and they counter-attacked with serious kind of danger about them and pace as well. A lovely little clip ball to the back post, and Dallow's up on the far corner flag, up kind of keeping high and wide, as they would say, but took him about 15 seconds to get back into position. And their winger has enough time to take it down and slot it past Onana. I mean, it's just horrendous, really, at that level, how you can't just get on the ball and turn and start to play forward. It's just, some of them are allergic to the ball, and it's really, really painful. And it's glaring in the Premier League, but it shouldn't be glaring against League 2 Grimsby, as you say, and it's just right there sitting in front of your face. I think now as the episode gets on, I think I'm going to get more into it. I can feel myself getting more angry as I discuss. I didn't have anyone to discuss this with, and now I'm starting to get to that stage. Like, come the second half, it'll be difficult. But anyway, Kieran, that's probably how it happened. I think we have Ugarte in midfield.
I'm going to poke the Niall bear, as it were, to see what happens. But yeah, the first goal is an utter shambles. It's Ugarte who loses the ball and is not strong enough. This has been a pattern for this team for quite some time. In the first 3 games of the season, we are not strong enough. We get pushed off the ball really easily. It's a physical game. Bulk up, for goodness sake. And then Dallow is nowhere to be seen, defending that right-hand side. Gives all the space in the entire world on that left-hand side then and it allows Vernon to it's a finish at the near post, which Onana probably should be saving. First game back after injury, first game back after missing out on pre-season. Maybe there were still cobwebs, but we'll get more into Onana on that stage. Tom, I'll just get your sort of breakdown of the first goal.
Well, it was a mix-up between Ahmad and Ugarte in the midfield, wasn't it? I mean, it was Ahmad that couldn't control it at first, and Ugarte got in the way. That's why Grimsby were able to press and snatch the ball off us and do what they needed to do. But I also criticised Fredrickson, because I think he has to hold himself accountable for the way he allowed Vernon to get on the end of a brilliant ball in to him and put it away. He had all the space in the world to get that shot away. And it's not all Onana's fault, because it's kind of hit straight at him. But I do agree that Onana needed to position himself better, to maybe even just stretch a leg to stop it from going in. If that was Bindia in the net, like what we saw against, you still think it would go in?
Yeah. It needed to be Tom Heaton in goal. I said this on the preview pod. It needed to be Heaton in goal. For goodness sake, give the youth prospects a chance. For goodness sake,
It needed to be McGinley with a pair of gloves. That's what I was calling out in the group chat. And Kieran, you should have got yourself, dust them off there and get yourself in, because it can't be any worse.
I'm too injury prone. I've broken both little fingers. I've damaged both ligaments in wrists in goal. I would say that was one game, but no, they were mostly all in the back garden. But there you go. It was shocking. I think I'm in that jokey mood where it's just like, I can't believe that's just happened. But in the back of my mind, I can actually believe it's just happened. That's sort of the first goal done and dusted. That's in the past. The second goal, and I'll lead us on. Tom, you said Onana maybe not at fault for the first goal entirely, but he is entirely at fault. If you venture that far out as a keeper, you need to catch the ball or punch it towards the halfway line, no in between. And he just gets caught flat-footed. And it's one of those where it just dribbles across the line. And you just think, what? Did that just happen, Tom? That second goal, honestly.
We were discussing Niall, weren't we, at the weekend, in terms of Bindia's positioning for the corner kicks that Fulham would take him, and he never looked comfortable. Onana looked even worse from the set pieces. It's like he's hesitating to come out to get a hand on it. There's got to be some practice on the training ground with that, because Onana clearly can't get it right, and this has happened so many times to the point where he can't be relied on at all. And at Manchester United, you've got nowhere to hide when making mistakes like this. It's either back your ideas up or face heading for the door. And Onana this evening, in terms of the way he performed in goal, okay, he may have saved a penalty in the shootout, which is, great. I was feeling quite confident he may have made a couple of saves in the shootout, which would have got us through. I think that's the kind of strength with Onana sometimes. But in regards to on-field play, he was nowhere. And I don't think he even knows what he needs to be doing when the corner kicks are coming in. He may as well just stay on his line if he's going to keep coming out for attempted punches like that to get the ball away, because he can't reach them. It's clear.
Yeah, and he overcommits as well. Like, I understand as like that eccentric sweeper keeper, you're going to do things that are just out of the ordinary, but they've got to be pulled off. They have to. You have to get to that ball, even if it's punching it away, all the way to the halfway line or out for a throw. Anything is better than what just happened. Niall, take us through your point of view on that second goal.
Well, I think they were doing video analysis during the week on Bindia, but they weren't really making it clear that this is what you shouldn't do, rather than kind of copying what Bindia was doing in terms of his displays over the last few games. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, completely misses the ball. Doesn't even take a man with him either. The classic phrase, take someone out. He just kind of jumps in the air and ends up on Maguire's back. And then, to be fair, I think it was Warren ended up kind of catching the ball and then dribbling it in, which is fair. They were due a bit of luck with how bad the goalkeeping situation was. But Onana throughout the whole thing, just get rid of him at this stage. Like, I just feel like it's just a cancer among the team. Like, I mean, Bruno at one stage ends up running over and taking a goal kick off him in the second half towards the end of the game. He also then, for the Cunha penalty, Cunha has a chance to win the game. His first penalty for United, his first chance to score for United. walks up to him, hands on the ball, daps him up, gives him a big handshake and a big hug before he's about to take a really important penalty, as if he's already scored it. And then Cunha goes and performs and takes a horrendous penalty and gets saved by the goalkeeper. Onana saving 1 of 12 penalties against Grimsby, unacceptable as well. He got his hand on about 3 of them. 2 of them probably should have been saved further. I don't see any way back. I mean, we mentioned, Kieran, about this new Belgian goalkeeper that could be coming in. His price range probably gone up another 20-30 mil after watching it again tonight. The club's like, you want it for 23? You're going to need to pay 73, lad. No problem. So we're in dire straits when it comes to a lot of places, but the goalkeeper one is just absolutely shocking.
I mean, yeah, tails between the legs at half time, and rightfully so. You know, it looked like at that point it was going to be MK Dons all over again, because the last time that's 2 second rounds of the EFL Cup in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, that we've been knocked out of that stage, and the only reason we're in this stage is because we were so bad in the previous season that we don't get a bye into the third round. Like, okay. Look, we went into halftime, tails between our legs. Our whole little group chat was just like, what did that just happen? Just completely shell-shocked. Big changes were needed at halftime. And, well, we'll discuss more about that after a quick little break. We'll be back after this.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right level to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
3 changes made at half-time. Manuel Ugarte was taken off. Matthias de Ligt replaced him. Tyler Fredrickson also brought off. Bruno Fernandes came on. And Patrick Dorgu off for Brian Mbeumo. And Niall, that seemed to change the game, albeit I think the heavens opening with Aidan Evans still on the pitch really added something, as Tom mentioned in the first part before the break. Yeah,
I mean, even with the changes, it took us ages to get going as well, and the torrential downpour didn't help. But as Ty from Arsenal Fan TV would say, we have to remember, guys, it was raining. So
it's raining for both teams.
It's raining for both teams. Thank you. So I mean, even that excuse is difficult to use. But there was a bit of aquaplaning. Yeah, no, it was horrendous. It was still really bad for 20-25 minutes. The Mbeumo goal was just a bit of individual quality. It's what we've seen over the last few seasons with Brentford, being able to take on your man, something that not a lot of our players can do, and then kind of find that gap between the defenders and place it into the far corner. It was a great finish, and that did kind of spur us on then for the last 10 minutes, where we actually did really pin Grimsby in and start to create lots of chances. And when I say lots of chances, I mean corners for Maguire.
Yes, we'll get onto Maguire's corner shortly. I'll just see from Tom as well. I mean, as Niall said, it's a little bit of individual brilliance in a game where we're 2-0 down to Grimsby Town, but that was enough to sort of spur us on. But it only took us 75 minutes to get into this game.
It did, and Brian Mbeumo was at the right place at the right time, really, in terms of driving the ball forward and cut back inside and put it past the goalkeeper to make it 2-1, and that was what was going to galvanise that United team. And then, obviously, Harry Maguire came up with the goods from a corner kick once again. It kind of reminded me of that one against Porto in the Europa League last season, where he equalised to get that 3-3 draw, didn't he, in the league phase? So Harry Maguire again, scoring when it matters.
Yeah, not quite Bilbao, but, there's levels to our games. There's levels to our game, and, half celebrating an equaliser against Grimsby. There's levels here. I was actually quite impressed with Christy Pym, the Grimsby Town goalkeeper. He was fantastic in the game. He made some really good saves, especially in that second half, and really was keeping Grimsby Town in the game, and was the reason they were able to make it to penalties in the first place. I mean, he had a fantastic game, and that's what happens when you have someone in goal who is a goalkeeper. We need to figure this out. Let's talk about the second goal then, because Maguire's the hero once again, coming in those clutch moments against a League Two side. Tom, I'll get your reaction. Was there much of a reaction on your end?
It was more like a relief rather than reaction. I was sort of like, but I wasn't like over exuberant. I wasn't over exuberant in a way where I was just relieved that we got back into it, because I was quite confident that when it got to penalties, I thought we were going to just sneak through, because I thought Onana would at least save a few of them to get us over the line. But yeah, Maguire, in that far post, it was a brilliant header, and he's good at that, is Maguire. He knows what he can do from set pieces like that. I think in a way it feels a little bit similar to the winner he scored against Leicester in the FA Cup last season, albeit he was offside that time around, but in a similar situation where the ball came in from a free kick, and he was there on that far post. And he's good at making those kind of runs, is Maguire, in situations like that. So hats off to him. His season's up and running, with a goal at least anyway. We spoke about our top scorers this season, and Burmo, and Rodrigo Muniz.
Oh, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Oh well, never mind. Harry Maguire's our joint top goal scorer this season. You'll never sing that. But yeah, I mean, it was a clutch moment. Niall, how were you feeling at that? Saint Maguire there again with the header at the back post.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of inevitable, really. Like, you could feel the goal was coming. We probably could have had 2 or 3 in those multiple corner attempts that we had, and Maguire pretty much got his head on all of them. What I did find strange was for one of them, De Ligt was hauled down. The man got a yellow card, but then we didn't get a penalty, and Mount was running up to take the ball. So is that because the ball wasn't technically in play yet?
Correct.
Is that why?
Yeah, it was a dead ball. So
it feels wrong, though. On the run up, it feels wrong.
If you want a penalty for that, if you're demanding a penalty against League Two Grimsby, your head's gone, mate. I'm sorry. It's just
we are 16th in the league. We need to take what we can get. Muniz is our top goal scorer, so we do need any help we can get. But Maguire, to be fair, he's an absolute legend. Like, he's completely turned his career around at United. The penalty that he took as well, I mean, all you keep thinking about is that penalty he took for England in the Euros, stuck it in the top corner, just stuck it in the other top corner tonight. Lots of confidence in what he's playing with, and yeah, it's a pretty sad indictment, though, that he's our only option when it comes to getting a goal in the last minute.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, some of the changes before that second goal, Joshua Zirkzee coming on for Ahmad Diallo, it's not often we said Ahmad, sometimes he has a quiet game and sometimes he's not making the impact we know he can. But today, Tom, this was one of his worst. Zirkzee came on and actually looked really good, holding up the play, able to bring other players in, just like I thought he might have done. If he came on 10 minutes earlier, I don't know, does he make even more of an impact there?
He looked a bit lost, didn't he, did Ahmad tonight? And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the fact that Grimsby were going to be so compact. And you would have thought that, considering that Ahmad has played in the Championship, in a league where teams are going to be more compact compared to how Premier League teams are set up, you thought it'd be all right with. Tonight, he absolutely struggled. And I can't fathom why that is. And he's got to really pick himself up at the weekend against Burnley. And if we don't come away with a strong result, huge questions going to be asked again on Ruben Amorim. I'm just looking at the stats for Ahmad Diallo, because he played 82 minutes before he got subbed off. How many passes did he make? Well, accurate passes. It says on here 40 out of 42 accurate passes. It doesn't feel right, does it?
No, it didn't feel like that.
It didn't feel like that at all, did it? He's had 3 shots in the match. I think 2 of them were on target, actually. And he made 1 defensive contribution as well. Yeah, I think he looked lost tonight, did Ahmad, and he needs some form of confident boost again going into the weekend. Do I think he's going to end up starting against Burnley? I'm confident he will do, because it's a Premier League game. It's different to how you play against teams in the Cup. United just needs some form of reprieve against Burnley. But even if we do come away with a win, it's not going to feel like we're out of the woods by any means.
Yeah. Niall, is that any is there any link, the fact that Ahmad was started higher up the pitch, that maybe consequently caused, maybe a little bit of an underperformance? I say a little bit of an underperformance, a major underperformance, with Ahmad and Dalot starting on the right-hand side?
I don't know. I think they played a lot there last season. We've only seen Ahmad can play back in that right wing back position once a season in the last game with Mbeumo in front. So I think it would actually suit him more freedom, less defensive responsibilities. So no real reason why he didn't really perform to what he can do. Obviously, last year he was hitting a serious run of form. So I don't know if we could expect him to reach the same heights every game going into this season. But yeah, it was way more than Ahmad that were underperforming this evening. And yeah, just in the meantime, they're just checking X and Twitter, and it's not looking good, boys.
You shouldn't have done that, Niall.
It's not looking good, and I'm not even playing, and it's not looking good. The video of Amram playing Sabutio on the sideline when Mount is coming on.
You pointed that out, Tom, as well. He was playing
Battleships. Not going to age well. It's just not a good look with the pouring rain, and he's flicking little positions around on the green board, hoping that his back three will work. Oh, poor man, honestly. Should have stayed in Lisbon. But anyway.
He was only one umbrella away from getting an absolute Steve McLaren there.
Steve McLaren on it, yeah.
Anyway, and when it comes to penalties, I don't know about you, but nothing inspires confidence in me in taking a penalty like my manager deciding to not look on and sit on the bench and just sort of head down.
Hide.
That's not a good look, is it? Especially when you're coming up against a team that have been, for let's say 60 minutes of that game, the better side with 3 divisions between you, Niall. That's not a good look. And if you're stepping up to take a penalty, you're looking to your manager for inspiration. If he's on the sideline cowering away, what are you supposed to do with that?
And I like Amram, and I like a lot of the things he does, particularly in the media and kind of playing the role as a manager. But that one didn't sit well at all. It's Grimsby. It's Grimsby in the cup. Go out and face the reality of it. Your team's underperformed, whether it's your fault, whether it's the player's fault. Go out and front it, and sitting there for the guts of 20 minutes, maybe that penalty shootout was, and just to consistently stay in the back and hide and kind of look to kind of praying that we're going to get through the game. The players shouldn't need inspiration. They're professional players. They're on £300 a week, £300,000 a week. I mean,
they were massively underpaying them then, aren't we?
They were playing like they were £300 a week. But optics wise, it looked horrendous. It looks even worse now when you lose as well. If you win, you can turn anything. You're like, oh yeah, he's an absolute genius. This is what he does. Like, you can turn anything into a positive when you win. But it looks horrendous, and it's not going to help him. And it's not what you'd want from a manager of United, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, I'll get your thoughts on that. I'll ask you the same question about Amram. What did you make of that?
Well, I said in the chat about the fact that, when he was doing the positioning thing, I thought it was playing a game of Battleships. The only problem was he was watching his ship being sunk by the mariners.
Oh,
Tom, here we go.
You sunk my battleship. Oh, yeah.
He's been cooking that up.
He has
been cooking that up. I like it, though. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, dear. I mean, let's just take a second to let that sink in. What's going to sink in first, that pun or the result tonight? We'll let you be the judge of that. Right, the penalties then. I mean, 12-11 on penalties we lose by. And it's fair to say the majority of the penalties, well, it is very fair to say because it's exactly right, were missed by United players. Cunha missed the chance to win the shootout.
That's normally how it goes. Whoever misses the most. Michael Owens on the podcast.
I am. Look, we needed that expert level of punditry. Come on. What are we doing here? Yeah, I'll never financially recover from that, will I? Oh well. But then, yeah, of all the players to miss it, and Burmo, that was a shock to me. Crashed it against the crossbar, Tom.
Yeah, he just put too much power into it, really. If he could just side foot into the net, it felt to me like players were just gingerly side footing the ball into the net every time you just watch it. It's just like, oh, well, it's the kind of stuff you see on the training ground all the time, where you see it even in Sunday League. Well, then Burmo just put too much power into it compared to the first time that he did it, and it totally backfired. Simple as that.
Yeah. Niall?
I can't get over the Onana dapping up Cunha first. I mean, that is the chance to just end it, not have to go through the merry-go-round of everyone taking a second penalty. It's just shocking. I mean, Cunha's penalty was horrendous as well. Like, I'm not completely blaming Onana, but it's a bit of a Bruno Fernandes, Kavanagh referee situation again, where you shouldn't be put off by anything, and just go over and put the ball in the net. The Mbeumo penalty's poor. He nearly kind of chips it onto the crossbar, like Tom said. The lads are after texting me here as well about the Grimsby keeper on his post match interview on Sky. Has said, I'm a United fan, so I'm half human, to be honest. And he's disappointed that he didn't save more penalties. So, looks like Grimsby didn't even care too much about it, and they came out the winning side. They seem to be loving life. The manager was laughing the whole way through as well. Complete kind of stark contrast to Amram in the background there. But there was a sense of inevitability, really, when it went that long, that it wasn't going to go our way. It was one of those ones you needed a nice professional 5-3 kind of penalty shootout, but once Onana stepped up, I think it wasn't looking good for us.
Yeah, no, it wasn't at all. I'm just trying to scroll back and see who it was who mentioned it in the chat. It was one of our social media guys, Josh, who was saying, when it got to the keepers, it was just a flashback of the 2021 Europa League final. It was like, Onana going up to take a penalty. I mean, I know as a keeper, the odds are stacked against you. Because let's face it, 12 yards out, you're not allowed to 1 foot off, or you're allowed 1 foot on the line. But besides from that, the odds are so heavily stacked against you now. But I counted at least 3 penalties he got a hand to. One of them, he got both hands to.
Yeah. Riddle me that. That's hard to do. Like 2 hands to it, and then it still end up in the net. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid to say more. I'm not a fan. I hope he leaves. I hope we get a new keeper.
And he's scared of not saying more. I think he's just said enough there.
Him and Agarte can. I'll call an Uber. Fair.
Yeah, you're paying for it then. Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're only on £300 a week. Of course,
yeah, exactly. And they're on £300 a week. We missed the most penalties, and that was the reason why we lost. It's expert stuff here on the Daily Manchester United. You got Tom over there, who's the ever professional. I'll come to you. Onana in that shootout.
Sorry, again, Tom is sinking battleships. Tom is not.
Yeah, I actually been thinking the battleships and thinking, where is the next one that's going to be sunk? Is it going to be sunk at the weekend by Burnley?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll fast forward to that. And to the good Anthony is going to come in and show us how it's done, I think.
Yeah.
But Tom, I'll come to you about that penalty shootout. I mean, Niall said the longer it went on, the more you felt it wasn't going to go our way. Was that a fair assessment?
I would say so. Yeah. I think from the moment that these Grimsby players were slotting away the penalties they were doing, we were always going to be under pressure. And it was going to take one miss from us to really decide it, and Burmo was the one to have missed it. I mean, I don't blame anyone for putting Manchester United out of a cup competition on the basis of one penalty. I never ever do that, because a game should normally be decided by 90 minutes anyway. Shootout, in my opinion, at least anyway, is a lottery.
Yeah, I get that, but I just think Grimsby looked so much more confident. I mean, we were heading against their side, which again, as a Premier League club, that shouldn't faze you. It just shouldn't. But this wasn't a high stakes shootout. It really wasn't. And with players passing it into the net, it felt like they knew it wasn't high stakes. So, yeah, apart from Maguire, obviously just absolutely smashing it in, like he always does. Niall, I mean, I'll come to you because it's been a long haul. The popcorn's nearly finished for everyone but United. Sum up that game for me. What on earth and how on earth do we go from here? It can't go on like this.
It can. I mean, to be very simple, Grimsby scored more penalties than we did, and that's just the fact of the matter, really. You say we're shocked. Are we really shocked? Like, I mean, it's not as if we haven't been here before, almost losing in horrific fashion against lower league teams, playing horrendously in the matches as well. It's just that hope at the start of the season that gets you. And now that's gone. And now we're back to where we were since we started this podcast. Maybe we should just end the podcast and then suddenly our just trajectory just goes back upward again. But yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. Last point I'd make, actually, I don't know why. Was it, Tom, the 9th penalty that Sesko ended up taking? Didn't like that. Eighth or 9th penalty.
It was the 10th one that he took.
Was it the 10th?
It was the 10th one, yeah, because it was the last outfield player for Manchester United to take a penalty before Onana took his.
Didn't like that.
No,
that
I didn't
doesn't fill me with confidence. I mean, Dallo going 4th, madness. De Ligt then going up, who's a good footballer, but Sesko should be grabbing the ball. Like, he missed that chance, the last kick of the game, right in front of the goal, skied it over the bar. Now, he did score his penalty, he took it well, but I don't like the way he was the 10th penalty taker. And to be honest, a lot of that stuff is self-selected. And I think that doesn't fill me with confidence going forward, that my brand new centre forward is taking the 10th penalty. Oh, and Ruben Amram's just come on the screen. Oh, God.
Turn it off, Niall, turn it off. Haven't we suffered enough? No, we haven't. We'll do it all again against Burnley. Tom, your thoughts on a dismal showing tonight, a Grimsby showing, if you will.
With a grumpy vibe as well. And I mean, it's the second round of the League Cup, so I can't feel like overly dejected by it because it's not our competition anyway. And to fill you in on second rounds, I think that's the third second round tie in a row in the competition where we've gone out. Because we also went out to York City over 2 legs, believe it or not, in 1995-96.
I love this, Tom. I love this.
I don't know what to say. In fact, I do know what to say. It's just what we're used to at the moment. It's great. I think they deserve £300 a week at this rate. It'll be great. See how they perform then.
It saves them having to sack so many staff members that don't have anything to do with what's going on the pitch.
Yeah, all those redundancies, and for what? And for what? I don't know. Anyway, look, we've done enough talking. We've done enough joking around. Whether it's battleships we're talking about, whether it's Sabutio or Amarim just cowering in that substitute bench, rocking back and forth that the penalty shootout will be over soon. Well, it lasted a long time, but in the end, we're out. And you'll never sing that, I guess. Have to get it in there somewhere. If you've enjoyed today's episode, I'm sure you'll join us for more along this season. There might be many more where that came from. Good news for most. You can follow us on all the social media as well. GSPN Man United. We are on Twitter and X. We're on Instagram and we're on TikTok. So join us, join in the conversation. We can take the L because there's no W in Manchester United either. Also, you can watch all of our episodes. So if you'd rather watch us crash out of the cup and just in general, you can follow us and watch us on YouTube. It's GSPN Man United podcast. Join us there and you can watch our lovely faces. See, look, Niall is giving you a wave right now. See, you're missing out. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you're missing out on Niall waving to you. And what more could you want from that one? And of course, none of this would be possible without the sponsorship of our partners at Zencastr, because here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With its 4K video recording, which you can do from your phone, and AI editing, which you can then automatically remove all those ums and ahs and maybe just generate the entire episode if you really want to. Either way, it's super easy to start your own podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. So if you're ready to tell your story, check out Zencastr in our show link below. And thank you to Zencastr for sponsoring the episode today. From myself, Kieran, from Tom and Niall, that will do it for today's episode. I'm sure we'll see you again in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.